what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to our channel, Red Bull Coffee and Crime. I hope everybody's having a great night. I have my coffee with us tonight. How are
Hello, guys.
you? I am drinking this new Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream, and it is so freaking good.
Is it good?
It's so good. mm. All right, you guys. So it's open panel. I put the link right there. Hey, Barbara. We are gonna go over mothers that kill. We're just gonna go over a few cases, and the first one, I don't know if any of you have heard, Liliana Carrillo. Um, Let me bring this up. Hold on. Oh, I gotta share my screen with that. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm doing good too. A lot better than what I was yesterday.
You feel better?
Feeling a little better, yes. My nose is still stuffy, and I still have a cough, but other than that, I feel a little bit much better. Thank God I don't have a fever no more.
Good.
And thank God I don't have COVID or the flu.
I know, right?
Yeah.
COVID
How
is.
are you doing, Garnett? I have missed you, hon.
I am good. You
That is
know,
awesome.
Hmm. All right. So, um, yeah, this woman. Oops. Hold on. All right. Liliana Carrillo, a 30-year-old woman from California, told a local television station that she drowned her three children, who were under the age of 4, to protect them from their father, who believed she was abusing them.
Mm.
I drowned them, she said in the interview, um, at the Lerdo pre-trial facility in Kern County. I did it as softly. I don't know how to explain it, but I hugged them and I kissed them and I was apologizing the whole time. I love my kids. Carrillo has not been charged, yet been charged with the deaths of her children, as the case is pending further investigation. She has pleaded not guilty to 4 felony counts of carjacking, attempted carjacking, and auto theft. Police haven't disclosed a motive for the killings, but court filings showed there was a bitter custody dispute between Carrillo and the children's father. Carrillo told the TV station that she promised her children when they were born that she would protect them and did not want them to be further abused. I wish my kids were alive. Yes, she said. Do I wish that I didn't do that? Yes, but I prefer them not being tortured and abused on a regular basis for the rest of their lives. However, during a tearful interview, Carilla seemed to have accepted her fate. I know that I'm going to be in jail for the rest of my life. It's something I've come to terms with. The children's father Eric Denton, contended in court papers filed earlier this year that Carrillo was increasingly delusional and that the children weren't safe with her. Denton did not immediately respond to a Facebook message seeking comment on Friday morning and the abuse claims. During an outing last February at a park, the couple's oldest daughter fell and landed on her groin area and later said it hurt, according to court documents filed in the custody case. Carrillo believed the pain was from Denton molesting her, a claim he denied, the document said. He said she was checked by a doctor who found no evidence of abuse, but Carrillo contended that the examination wasn't thorough enough. She described herself as social justice warrior who used to travel California advocating against human trafficking. She said she met the children's father when she was an Uber driver, and they began talking during a long drive. Carrillo, who wore a brown jumpsuit, had her arm shackled to her wrist. There was a cast or bandage on her left arm. She cried several times during the nearly half-hour interview, in which she said she did not have an attorney. Carrillo's children, 3-year-old Joanna Denton Carrillo, her 2-year-old brother, Terry, and 6-month-old sister, Sierra, were found dead Saturday by their maternal grandmother in her apartment in the Rosetta neighborhood of Los Angeles. She was arrested later that day in Tulare County, nearly 200 miles north of the scene. The children had been staying with Carrillo. In the interview, Carrillo said she had driven north, intended to drive off a cliff and kill herself, but the car became stuck in a ditch, and she instead took the vehicle of some people who had stopped to help her. However, she pleaded not guilty on Wednesday in a Kern County courtroom to 4 felony counts of carjacking, attempted carjacking, and auto theft. Fearful for her safety, Denton petitioned a court for custody March 1st, alleging that Carrillo was delusional and had taken the kids and refused to tell him where they were. Carrillo, in turn, filed a restraining order against him and claimed Denton was an alcoholic who may have sexually abused their eldest. Denton's court filings tell of Carrillo's postpartum depression following the birth of their middle child. She began therapy but quit. She self-medicated with marijuana, he claimed. In text and social media posts, she said things like, "I wish I never had kids," and threatened to kill herself. Carrillo also believed she was solely responsible for the coronavirus pandemic. Denton wrote, and she thought the small California city of Porterville, where the family had lived until the end of February, was home to a giant sex trafficking ring. In her interview, Carrillo said she dealt with depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress syndrome her entire life and had sought out a therapist for postpartum depression, but contended that it was Denton who posted a threat to the children. Carrillo alleged that her daughter and son had shown signs of abuse and that she had tried but failed to obtain help through social workers and law enforcement. They were just going to hand them off to the dad, she said. Carrillo sought a temporary restraining order in Los Angeles County through the courts. Denton and Carrillo agreed to swap Denton's days to see the children, a few hours every other Sunday. Last Sunday was supposed to be just his second visit with the kids under the new schedule. Carrillo said she expects to spend the rest of her life in prison. Asked what her final message to her children, she replied, "I love you and I'm sorry." I am going to play that interview, just a little bit of it. This is horrible. Hold on. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. You guys, I just wanted to make a case, talk about cases like this because we've seen so many of this going on lately.
Right. We have.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is.
So, all right. Can you guys hear that?
No, I can't. Can you, Garnett?
I can't hear it either.
The best reviews.
Can you hear it now?
The best reviews.
Yeah. I hear the commercial.
Anything ever.
Once again, I'm Eitan Wallace, KGET and Telemundo. We're an NBC affiliate in Bakersfield, just about a few minutes south of here. Today, I'm here to hear from you. You know what I mean? I want to hear your story. And so with that, Liliana, if it's okay, I can call you Liliana. Great. Want to get right away. Tell me about yourself. Tell the viewers, who are you? Take us a little bit through who you are.
My name's Juliana.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to hear her.
And Liliana, I'm sorry.
Why?
Yeah, the voice is volume's low, or
Yeah.
whenever they were doing the interview, it's low.
You said it's low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
it's
volume,
really-
not on your end, but on their end.
question, if it's okay, if you could just lower the mask like that. Do you feel comfortable?
Maybe it is on your end. I don't know.
6 feet away from each other. I think. And would you mind spelling your full name?
It's Liliana, Liliana Carrillo, Carrillo.
You can't hear that at all.
It's very,
It's like
very
you-
faint.
Yeah, it's very faint.
Hold on. Let me see.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I was a mom.
I don't know why it's doing that. Like, I mean, we used to be able to hear it. Can you?
Mhm.
You can't hear it now either.
I've always been a person who's
It's faint.
actually been for helping
People. I used to travel.
I can hear her a little bit.
against human trafficking. I've always been a social justice warrior, equal rights and human rights activist. I've always been very vocal about basically a lot of the things that are going on in the world. And I had a very challenging upbringing. My mom is a great person. She's actually been the most supportive person throughout this entire situation. She's been there for
Can you
me.
hear it now?
I've been a ungrateful daughter.
A little bit. How about you, Gardette?
But she's
It's really, really too faint for me to make it out, but I'm old.
a person and
I mean, I can hear it a little bit, but it's still like, not loud.
like, met eye to eye all the time. And so I'm a Taurus, and so I was very stubborn, and I actually removed myself from my family at a very young age.
She removed herself from her family at a young age. I heard that.
Things, and as a result, I found myself where I am now, I guess, in the long run. I met the father of my kids when my grandmother her health was failing, and I was
Hey,
not talking
Arctic.
to my family at that time, and
Hey, Arctic.
he knew that when we met. I was his Uber driver. We had like about a 45-minute drive.
Okay, so nobody can hear it. Good. I wanted to play that. I don't know why you guys. Oh, hey,
You're super soft.
Hey, Reloaded.
What's good?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Reloaded.
How you doing?
Doing no good. Still a little sick, but feel much better than what I did yesterday. So
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. But apparently this topic, not so much. Mothers that kill.
Yeah.
I know, crazy, right?
All right. I'm trying to figure out why, like earlier when we were playing that stuff, I don't know why we could not hear it either. I don't know what the hell is going on. So let me see something. Because, hold on. All right, let me try this.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up for not tomorrow, but next Sunday.
He told me about like his failing relationship.
I owe every last one of my subscribers an apology.
Why?
Why?
It has a lot to do with 3 of my very first cases that I covered in the Fayez Bite Reloaded. And you guys are gonna get getting the heads up.
Okay.
1. Remember the case with Tim and Tracy Ferreter?
Yeah.
Got an update on that one. With that update comes apology number 1 for not following up like I'm supposed to.
Ah.
Number 2.
Okay, hun.
Remember the case of Dennis Perkins, the ex-sheriff's lieutenant out of Louisiana?
Like basically
Yeah.
how it was, and
Forgot to follow up to that one
a lot
too.
of questions.
Got an update on that one.
Well, we
Number 3.
times we forget to do an update.
True.
Yeah.
True, but I make sure I made a vow to do that in the very very beginning when I first went from politics Bethea's Bite to true crime Bethea's Bite Reloaded. So basically, my apology letter is going to be live with me saying, "I am sorry. Here's the update. I will do better next time." And the biggest one of them all is Dante Jackson. You remember him, right?
No.
I do.
Maybe I was gonna say to Lexi, maybe this name will refresh your memory. Sophia Mason.
No.
That the little 8-year-old girl that was killed in the San Francisco area. Her mom was put behind bars. Her boyfriend Dante Jackson was on the run for quite some time.
Questions, about like the work I had done, and
I don't
I've got
remember.
an update on him too.
Well,
That's next
good.
Sunday.
Oh, you're not gonna do it this Sunday?
Nope, Super Bowl Sunday.
Ah. See, I don't watch.
Reloaded. You're okay, hun. You know, sometimes people do forget to do an update, so it is perfectly fine. You know, I don't expect you to be perfect. You're good, hun.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm not doing these apologies to be perfect. I'm doing these apologies and these updates to say, hey, I'm a man of my word. I just forget sometimes.
Right.
I get it, honey. I just got that reminder not just a couple seconds ago.
Wait, hold on.
I never said you were,
Can you guys hear this?
but you're perfect for me.
Is it better?
well, the reason that I'm doing this interview.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit better.
Just barely.
Groomed, and I was being groomed as well.
A little bit. You know, I could hear it a little bit better, but then I
Yeah.
could at first. But it's still soft.
That I had done.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a very impactful communicator and leader, and so I think that basically he took advantage of me being in a very.
Okay, I'm wondering. Let me try something real quick because.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna after we do this, then we'll talk about your apology. But everyone does it. Hold on. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear that?
No.
No.
New revelations keep coming.
Oh, that I can hear.
That I can hear too.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Like lately, I've been having to share, even if I used to be able to have it where I don't have to share the screen for you guys to hear. So something's going. Let me see something. I don't know what it is. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, anyway. Okay, so that was Liliana Carlino. Horrible case. Let me hold on. Let me see if there's any more pictures. I mean, what do you guys think about her saying that? I mean, if she wanted to if she was going to kill anyone, kill the father.
Right?
Like,
Well, my whole thing is like, if you were so afraid of him because he was so abusive towards your kids and you didn't want your kids going through that, then get out of the situation. Pack your stuff, pack the kids' stuff, and get the hell out of there.
Well, the thing is,
Right.
I'm not sticking up for her, but the thing is that she was gonna lose. They were going through a custody battle, so.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Yeah.
See,
I get that.
That's usually the best option. That's usually the best option.
It is. All right, let's hold on. Let's play this one. So this is a
Mhm.
this is a different mom, Jamera Hall. And can you hear this?
I can hear that perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday, officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Coventry Road to investigate a reported death on arrival inside of an apartment. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered the bodies of 2 juvenile victims who were both in a state of decomposition with obvious visible trauma.
Oh my God.
Our homicide
Oh my
detectives are
God.
currently working with the medical examiner's office to determine the exact cause of death and the exact time of death. Both victims have been identified as 6-year-old Denaria Thomas and her brother, 8-year-old Davin Thomas. Our heart goes out to the family members. And on behalf of the Baltimore Police Department, we send our condolences and our heartfelt prayers. Now, while our investigators are always working under very challenging circumstances, there is nothing more difficult than investigating the murder of a child, much less 2 children.
All right, so this is a Baltimore mother has been charged with brutally murdering her 2 children after their decomposing bodies were discovered just days after neighbors reported hearing one of them screaming, "Mommy, no." Jamera Hall, 28, was arrested Wednesday after police were called to investigate a foul odor coming from the family's apartment a day earlier. The decomposing bodies of 6-year-old Denaria Thomas and 8-year-old Davin Thomas were found inside. The little girl Denaria had been drowned and strangled, according to charging documents. Her body was found dumped in a bathtub with clothing wrapped around her neck. Her brother was found in a sleeping bag with a large knife still stuck in his chest and a trash bag around
Oh my goodness.
According to police, the neighbor heard the little girl scream, "Mommy, no," from the inside the apartment that same night. Hall allegedly told her mother earlier this week that the children's father had taken them, the charging documents say. The father, however, told investigators he hadn't seen them. Hall wasn't home when the police found the children's bodies. She was taken into custody Wednesday after police tracked her down in an Uber nearby. Police charged Hall with first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and reckless endangerment of the children after she allegedly confessed to killing them. Hall's social media accounts are filled with photos of her children. On some posts, she referred to her children as her best friends.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I've got a rhetorical question to ask for the panel, and I may repeat it as this live goes on. What kind of monster do you have to be to kill your child like that?
I'll never understand it. I would never understand it.
This is we all know how postpartum, well, this is also, let's go over all the cases first so we can see what kind of connection there is, because next is Lindsay Clancy. And we all know that she just killed her 3 kids and she tried to commit suicide. And then we can discuss everything. So,
Okay.
All right.
I may have one to add to that.
Oh yeah, I have like 3 of them, but if you have one to add, that's good too. So as we know, Lindsay Clancy. Let me go back from, because now there's a lot of different stuff about what's really going on. All right. Duxbury mother Lindsay Clancy started her day on Tuesday, January 24th, as any mother would, by taking one of her 3 young children to the pediatrician for a morning appointment, according to court documents and a local prosecutor. There were no immediate concerns about the demeanor or behavior of the 32-year-old Clancy, who left the pediatrician office with her daughter and returned home, where she took her children outside to play in the snow. Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague said in Plymouth District Court on Tuesday, Once outside, her children built a snowman. Clancy texted photographs of the children playing to her mother and her husband, Patrick Clancy. But later that day, prosecutors alleged that Clancy, using exercise bands, fatally strangled her 3 children: 5-year-old daughter Cora, her 3-year-old son Dawson, and her 8-month-old baby Colin. The elder children were pronounced dead that day. The infant died days later. On Tuesday, Lindsay Clancy was zoomed into Plymouth District Court and arraigned on charges of murder, strangulation or suffocation, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. An exercise band and the deaths of her 3 children. During her arraignment, Clancy lay in a hospital bed wearing a white mask and a neck brace. Lindsay tried to kill herself by jumping out of a second-story window at her home and suffered serious spinal injuries that left her paralyzed, said her defense attorney, Kevin Reddington. He said in court that Lindsay had been fighting mental health issues and been over-medicated as she sought treatment. This is not a situation that was planned by any means. This is a situation that clearly is a product of mental illness, Reddington argued in court. Below is the timeline of events that took place January 24th. 4:02 p.m., Lindsay Clancy searched kids' Miralax on her cell phone. 4:13 p.m., Lindsay searched Takeout 3B on her cell phone. She used Apple Maps on her phone to determine the time it would take someone to travel from her phone or her home in Duxbury to 3B in Plymouth, according to court documents. 4:47 p.m., Lindsay searched for the CBS website and called CBS at 189 Summer Street in Kingston and asked the manager if they had children's Miralax. 4:53 p.m., Lindsay texted her husband, Patrick, who was working in his home office in the basement of their home. She texted, "Any chance you want to do takeout from 3B? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day." Patrick texted, "Yes." Lindsay asked him to check the menu. 5:06 p.m., Patrick asked her what she going to order for food. She responded that she'd get the Mediterranean Power Bowl. Patrick responded that he wanted the scallop and pork belly risotto. 5:10 p.m., Lindsay called 3B Restaurant in Plymouth to order food and gave Patrick's name for pickup. 5:15, Lindsay texted the words Pedialyte liquid stool softener to her husband, and she sent her husband out to run these errands. 5:32 p.m., surveillance video shows Patrick Clancy at the CVS on Summer Street in Kingston, where he went to the children's medication aisle. 5:33 p.m., a call from Patrick to Lindsay's cell was unanswered. 5:34, Lindsay called Patrick. The call lasted 14 seconds. He confirmed with Lindsay which medication to get, and he checked out at the register and left CVS 3 minutes later. At 5:54, Patrick arrived at 3B Restaurant in Plymouth, paid for food, and headed home. 6:09 p.m., after arriving home, there was silence, and Patrick did not see or hear Lindsay or the children. Patrick called Lindsay again while looking for her. The call was not answered. Patrick then went to the bedroom on the second floor and found the door locked. He saw blood on the door and noticed an open window. He ran outside to the back door and found Lindsay on the ground, conscious and with cuts to her wrist and neck. He called 911. He asked Lindsay, "What did you do?" She responded, "I tried to kill myself and I jumped out the window." During the 911 call, Patrick was heard asking his wife, "Where are the kids?" He later told police that she replied, "In the basement." When emergency crews arrived, Patrick asked them to stay with Lindsay because he had to find his kids. According to court documents, while still on 911 call, Patrick was heard entering the home and heading to the basement. "Guys," Patrick called out. He then began screaming in shock and agony as he found his children who were on the floor, according to court documents. Each child still had the exercise band that was used to strangle them tied around their necks when their father found them. Sprague said Lindsay planned the murders of her children and she used Apple Maps to make sure she would have enough time to strangle each child before her husband returned from where she had sent him. Lindsay is a danger to herself and others. She planned these murders, gave herself the time and privacy needed to commit the murders, and then strangled each child in the place where they should have been the safest, which was their home. She did so with deliberate premeditation and extreme atrocity and cruelty. This story breaks my heart, but we'll go over everything afterwards, you guys. Hey, Hildy, so glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. How are you? We are going over these cases, and then we're going to kind of discuss everything. God, I can't.
I don't know. I mean, here's one that I covered recently, and but after the first couple you shared, I figured this one would be equally as disturbing. So, here we go.
Are you there? Oh.
And currently being held at the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center in Miami. In the early morning hours on Tuesday, Baxter allegedly told a 911 dispatcher that she had killed her 3-year-old daughter. When asked how she killed her daughter, the defendant replied she strangled her at first, but when that didn't work, she stabbed her in the chest and neck, police stated in the affidavit. North Miami police arrived at Baxter's home and discovered the deceased body of a small child with deep stab wounds to her chest, neck, and face, according to the documents. The affidavit also states that the knife was located next to the victim's body. Baxter's stepfather, Harold Hemmings, told NBC6 that he met Baxter and her child once after Baxter's mother died from cancer last year. She seemed like she was a good mother, but upon hearing the news, Hemmings told the news station he doesn't know why Baxter would do what she's accused of. She's sick. That's all I can say. She's sick. Baxter will be arraigned next month. According to CBS Miami, it is unclear whether she obtained an attorney to speak on her behalf.
We've got some new details tonight about a mother accused of killing her own child tonight. We have a hold of the 911 call she made to police, and we're just going to play a snippet because it's so disturbing.
Jalissa, hi. Can you tell me what's happening there? Yes, I just killed my daughter. How old is your daughter? 3.
So hard to believe. Jalissa Baxter faced a judge this morning just one day after police say she repeatedly stabbed her 3-year-old daughter. CBS 4's Chelsea Jones was there and joins us now with what happened in the courtroom.
Jalissa Baxter faced a judge this morning, making her first appearance in charges related to the murder of her daughter. She stood there seemingly emotionless. Let's get you to some videos so that you can take a look for yourself. She is facing murder and aggravated child abuse charges only one day after police say she stabbed her 3-year-old, killing her. You can see Baxter right here being booked into the Dade County Jail after the gruesome details outlined in arresting documents. They reveal that Baxter attempted to first strangle her daughter. Once she was unsuccessful, she then stabbed the little girl several times. The details of what went down in that North Miami Beach apartment are chilling. Police say when they arrived, they found Jalissa in her white robe with the body of her child nearby and also the weapon used not too far away as well. Now, Baxter's Instagram account is filled with pictures of her and her daughter. She identifies as Aria. She talks about how much she loves her, and there are also other posts, though, that detail battles that she's endured, and now she's facing yet another one. Baxter could be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. She will face those murder and child abuse charges next month when she's arraigned in court. In Northwest Miami-Dade, I'm Chelsea Jones, CBS 4 News.
Yep.
It's sick.
We will go over that. I'm so I have so the next one, this one is, you guys, this happened in Georgia, and this woman is batshit fucking crazy. Georgia mom accused of fatally stabbing husband. Kids told surviving daughter she was going to see Jesus. The entire family was asleep when Isabel Martinez began stabbing her children. The 9-year-old lone survivor of a Georgia knife attack that killed her 4 siblings and her father alleged to child welfare workers that her mother asked for forgiveness before cutting her, and said the girl was going to the sky to see Jesus. A report from the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services obtained by People alleges that Diana Romero, 33-year-old Isabel Martinez, only child to survive the woman's alleged July 6th attack against her husband and children, cried when her mother said this. She told her mother she did not want to see Jesus. The entire family was asleep when Martinez began stabbing her children. Martinez had been charged with murder and aggravated assault in the death of her husband, Martin Ramiro, and 4 of their kids. The report says Diana was carried into her parents' bedroom after she was allegedly cut by Martinez. Ramiro, 33, awoke, saw what had happened, and tried to get help, but Martinez allegedly killed him. The little girl told caseworkers Martina was not crying or screaming as she allegedly stabbed her family. The report also alleges she cut herself before calling 911 to report the killings. Caseworkers also interviewed Martinez. According to the documents, Martinez said she was being framed and that the real killer is a family friend who regularly visits the home, but Martinez repeatedly refused to name the family friend. She placed all of the bodies in the same room before police came, so everyone could be together. Investigators allege Martinez killed Romero along with Isabella Martinez, 10, Dakota Romero, 7, Dylan Romero, 4, and 2-year-old Axel Romero. Martinez has not entered a plea to the charges against her 5 counts of murder and malice murder, along with 6 counts of aggravated assault. Martinez's lawyer, Robert Greenwald, filed a motion seeking a psychological evaluation for his client. At a court date shortly after the killings, Martinez drew the ire of a Gwinnett County judge on Friday after smiling and giving a thumbs up. Video footage of the hearing showed Martinez kneeling theatrically in front of a camera and apparently gesturing for photographers. I have concerns about her ability to comprehend the nature of what's going on, the nature of the legal proceedings pending against her. I have concerns that she just doesn't get it. People have been unable to reach Romero's relatives. The Division of Family and Child Services documents further allege a caseworker investigated the family in 2015 following claims that Romero had used a belt and a phone charger cord to discipline his children when they wouldn't go to sleep. Both parents acknowledged sometimes using physical discipline, the report claims, but the agency determined the children were not in immediate danger. Now, you guys, this lady, I'm going to share this page real quick. Where did Garnett go?
She said that she was going to spend some time with her hubby. It's in the chat.
You left me? Why did you leave me?
She's in the private chat. At the private chat, she said, "Girl, I gotta spend some time with hubby."
Hold on, I'm about to get my phone and cuss her out.
Yeah.
So this girl, this woman, she I forgot I had a hole in his pants.
That's cool, the background.
She used to run outside her neighbor's house, and she used to claim that God was coming for them. Like she,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, she's really, really crazy. So okay, there's more, but we can kind of discuss, you guys. So I know that
Well, this one I can already say right now that she was definitely a few aces short of a full deck.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
I have PTSD. I have never hurt my son in any way, but I'm postpartum. Wait, I knew I had PTSD, so I got help. Yeah, exactly. You get help.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know there are some moms that just do this because, you know, and they don't, they're obviously crazy, but hold on. Postpartum psychosis. Because I know postpartum psychosis happens, and I guess you see delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thoughts, included confusion, severe difficulty sleeping, mood disorders. I know it's a lot. But I can never understand. I don't know how bad they have to be in order to do this to their children. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Me, if I had that issue and I had kids, I would go and get me some help.
But most of these people
don't want to take care of my kids. Right? Well, I go and get some help.
They do get help. Most of these cases, they've gotten help. You know, they've
right.
Like the
but
one.
I still never, oh, sorry.
No, like Lindsay, she had help, and the dad had to work from home because,
right.
You know, and he doesn't think that his wife would ever do something like that. So yeah, he went to the store, but I don't know. I
still never understand though why. I know she went and got some help, and of course the husband didn't know she was going to do that. But my thing is, like, I would never understand why someone would want to hurt their own kids. That I would never understand. I think that some people use mental illness, not saying everyone, but there's a lot of cases where people have used mental illness as an excuse.
No, yeah. I mean, see, my thing is I know it's not an excuse, but we have never been in that mindset of what they're feeling. You know, like
right.
I wonder what makes them after being in that, like, how do they feel? I don't know. It's not an excuse. I just want to know how they feel. Like, it has to be really, really bad. I mean, she was a good mom. Like, before she was she delivered babies. She, you know, like, what happened?
Right. That is a good question. Yeah.
And if you have some kind of mental struggle before the pregnancy, you have a bigger chance of getting postpartum. But I think you have to try to prevent it. From a man's perspective, Hildy, I agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree.
It is no excuse. I'm just, you know, I'm interested in what are they feeling at the time? You know, I mean, okay, we use bipolar or other illnesses for excuses of why some people act the way
do what they do.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's an excuse. I just, then that's saying like, okay, you can't use the excuse that you have bipolar or you have anxiety or you have for being this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. I get you.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Ladies first.
I know there are some people that really do deal with mental illness, but then there's some that really don't. They just, use it as an excuse. And what I was trying to say is like people that do have mental illness. I mean, I understand. I don't know what they're feeling at that time, but if you know that you're feeling a way that's not right, or like if a family member hears one of their relatives talking crazy about harming their kid, do something, go and get some help. Or I know you said she did go and get some help. A lot of people do go and get help. But if you're feeling that way, go get some help. Or like if someone is telling their family members they're feeling some type of way, that's when you need to go and do something. Don't just sit there and do nothing. You get where I'm coming from?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's the same rule as is with true crime and missing persons. See something, or in this case, hear something, say something.
And
right.
It is well known that if you have some kind of mental issue, that you have a much, much bigger chance to get postpartum. There's no excuse to not seek help in my eyes. And it's true, but what about these people that do seek help? Okay, so what do you guys think about Andrea Yates? Everybody around her knew. Everybody around her. She even knew.
Mm-hmm.
And did absolutely nothing. And did absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They said that they were gonna have a plan where his mom was gonna watch the kids with her while he went to work, but then ended up leaving her alone. Oh, she'll be okay for at least an hour by herself. And I believe Andrea Yates. Hold on, way back. I had to turn my sound off. I have a screeching feedback coming from my speaker. Maybe time for a new phone. Oh Lord, Arctic, you just doing so good for the past year. Okay, so Andrea Yates, she had a big problem. Everybody knew about it.
Right.
In the Yates case, everyone failed. Exactly. So in this case, the guy, the husband knew she needed help and he had to work from home. So would you guys, if your spouse had these mental issues where you had to work from home, you couldn't go to work, would you leave your significant other with your child? Knowing
what I know? If I could work from home, I would.
Huh?
What'd you say?
Knowing what I know, if I could work from home, I would. Just to be close around my kids.
Exactly.
Arctic, that's what I'm saying. Everybody failed. And look, I'm not saying this is an excuse at all, but I'm comparing these cases we just went over. Like, what's her name? Lindsay. She was a nurse. She was living a good life. She got the help she needed. And then all of a sudden, he had to stay at work. I mean, he had to stay at home to work because she couldn't do it. She was going through postpartum. Why did he leave her alone? Why did he trust? And I know it's because you don't think that your significant other is going to kill your children, but if it got so bad that you had to quit your job or work at home, then it's bad. I guess it's because I don't know. There is no excuse for it. I don't know what these people go through. We don't know. Medication takes a while to go and find the correct one. You have to take medication after medication. And then if that doesn't work, you have to try new ones. And Um, yeah, they also everybody failed them. And
Mm-hmm.
cases that are just like that. But I want to know what these people. I don't know. I'm trying to say. I don't know if you guys know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say something. Okay.
Right.
You're asking the same. You're asking pretty much the same question I asked earlier. What possesses these people to kill their children?
Yeah.
Aside from some
Right.
mental health deficiency.
And why is knowing how bad it gets. Knowing how bad it gets. Why are you going to leave your significant other?
Along with your kids.
Yes.
Knowing they have some kind of mental health problem.
Exactly. It's like if I told my husband, hey, you have to quit your job. You have to work from home because I don't trust myself. There's something I'm going through. Like I can't be around the kids or alone with them. Do you think he's going to leave me alone with my kids?
Hell no, he's not. And he's going to try to get you some help too.
Exactly. I got to use the bathroom. Hold on.
I mean, come on. I mean, come on. You leaving your significant other alone with your kids, knowing full blown well
they're not healthy to be alone with.
You want to? Do you honestly think I'm gonna do something like that? Wrong answer.
Hell no. You're gonna be right there at the house.
That's right.
And you're gonna be getting your wife some help.
My wife and my kids are top priority. So knowing that, you can best believe I will be there with my kids, with my kids, with my wife. I'm making sure they're taken care of. Point
exactly.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm like Denzel. I'm like Denzel Washington and John Q. I'm not gonna bury my kids. My kids is gonna bury me.
Exactly. And I'll tell you another thing too. If one of my family members came to me and was talking, saying something about harming their kids, I would be calling and getting them some help. I'm not just going to not do anything.
I won't ever understand either. I just really, I don't know.
And like the story I brought to you, I'm still trying to figure out how this particular mother had the sense to call 911 on herself and blatantly tell police she tried to choke her 3-year-old, failed, and then repeatedly stab her in the chest and neck.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's disgusting.
Sweetheart, that's what I was saying when I first posted that. Disgusting. In my head, I was saying the exact same thing.
I mean, there's another one where a judge agrees mom was insane in killing 2 of her children, so she'll go to a hospital. A 31-year-old Dayton woman found not guilty by reason of insanity in killing 2 of her children in 2017. She got her in the shooting deaths of her daughter 8 and son 6. She was ordered to be institutionalized at Summit Behavioral Health Care in Cincinnati. And I mean, I don't know. These cases, it's happening more and more and more.
I thought when I first got into true crime and I was covering the Farragers, I thought that would arguably be one of the worst cases I would cover because that particular case hit so close to home. home because I was a foster child. I was an adopted child.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm usually one advocating for being a foster parent or adoption. Then that case came up.
You're not safe anywhere. Kids
No.
aren't safe. You don't know what these foster parents. They could be, you know, they could be treated worse.
Right.
It's crazy that we can't even count on the foster system to make sure kids go to a safe home.
Yeah, I remember one case where there was two adopted parents. They killed their adopted son because he ate their Debbie snacks, and he killed him and put his body in the washer machine, and then claimed that he was missing.
I honestly think there wasn't any thinking going on. Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, it is the woman's fault, but it's everybody around, because I would not, even if it was my husband, I would not leave my children alone with somebody that had these issues so bad that he had to stay at home to work. Why? Why?
That's what we were just saying just minutes ago, and I agree to this. If I could work from home, I would. But honestly, me leaving my significant other with my kids, knowing what I know, that she may have some kind of mental health deficiency, and I just decide to up and leave my kids alone with her, I don't think so.
Oh, nope.
It's ridiculous.
And Lexi, like you were saying, people can't be trusted these days. Like even kids getting adopted. Like I was just saying, that case where those two adopted parents killed their adopted son because he ate one of their Debbie snacks.
That's ridiculous.
That is just crazy. So these days you got to be careful with where your kid goes, or where a kid goes. Excuse me.
That is
or
insane.
stops a kid. Because
it is.
Nowadays, kids getting killed by their parents, adopted parents, foster parents. My goodness.
There is okay, so a sociologist, where did it go? Hold on, it's coming. I'm gonna read what a sociologist says.
Okay.
That if it loads.
While she's trying to get that to load, I got fired up over an arrest made in a Florida abuse case. Thanks Arctic Fox for this one, because like I said, it fired me up because again, something like this happened. It hit close to home, too close to home. In fact, when Fox made the report, I commented, and I'm going to the comment for my exact words. I said, this hits a bit too close for home. You have no idea how angry this makes me. I want to see them both thrown under the prison, never to see the light of day again. That's not from The Last Outlaw. That's not just from the host of Bethesda's Bite Reloaded. That's from the man behind it all. For me to comment like that, you know that's gotta hit me hard.
It's sad. This article, postpartum mood disorders are more common than we realize. Up to 80% of new mothers experience mild depression within a year of giving birth. If the baby blues persist, depression can escalate to dangerous levels, influencing some women to experience psychosis and in rare and tragic cases to kill their offspring. During the first 6 weeks after giving birth, Jennifer Moyer was grateful for her beautiful new son and supportive husband, yet she wasn't herself. She felt somewhat irritable and was having difficulty sleeping. And just after her first postpartum physical checkup, things began to unravel and fast. That feeling that some unnamed harm was coming to her son overwhelmed her. She became hyper protective, not allowing anyone, even her husband, to hold the baby. 1 month later, after 3 sleepless nights, anxiety and fear consumed her to the point where her son had to be physically removed from her, and she was forcibly taken to the hospital. Moyer was in the throes of postpartum psychosis. The focus of a lot of media attention, this illness gained a voice largely due to the story of Andrea Yates, the woman found guilty of drowning her 5 children. Yates, who has a long history of mental illness, confessed to jurors that Satan had ordered her to kill her children. Though diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, she was judged capable of discerning right from wrong and sentenced to life in prison. Despite considerable research into the nature of postpartum mood disorder, there is still no clear medical consequences on what causes it and how it should be treated. Having grown up expecting motherhood to be one of the best times of life, many women suffer alone, feeling miserable but unaware that postpartum mood disorder have a name, explains Karen Klayman, MSW, founder and director of the Postpartum Stress Center in Philadelphia. As many as 50 to 80% of all women experience some degree of emotional letdown following childbirth, the so-called baby blues. Fortunately, its more extreme sister disorder, postpartum psychosis, is rare, affecting only about 1 in 1,000 new mothers. The baby blues, though, are common for numerous reasons. The baby's crying and the mother-interrupted sleep and soreness from breastfeeding are enough to make any woman feel irritable, if not overwhelmed and tearful. These feelings typically begin 3 to 4 days after the baby is born, but normally dissipate on their own within a few weeks. If the blues last more than 2 weeks, however, the new mother may be suffering from a condition of intermediate severity postpartum depression, a mood disorder on par with clinical depression. 12 to 16% of women experience PPD, which results in feelings of despondency, inadequacy as a mother, impaired concentration or memory, and loss of interest or pleasure in activities. Some women, like Moyer, also become paralyzed with fear and concern for the baby's safety. If such symptoms appear, it is important to seek professional consultation to help differentiate PPD from other conditions, such as obsessive compulsive disorder. Symptoms of anxiety are frequently an aspect of clinical depression, but true obsessive compulsive symptoms signify a different disorder that needs proper diagnosis and treatment. A special education teacher, Shoshana Bennett, PhD, began suffering from these types of anxious feelings almost immediately after giving birth. I felt like I was helpless and hopeless. I was so afraid someone was going to hurt my baby that every day after my husband went to work, I would place all movable furniture behind the door. Though debilitating, the emotional reactions to being a new mom that signify depression are not as severe as those associated with postpartum psychosis, of which the predominant symptom is a break with reality, a loss of ability to discern what is real from what is not. For instance, a woman with PPD may experience violent thoughts about her baby, but recognizes that those thoughts are wrong and potentially dangerous. In that case, she will not act on them. A woman with full-fledged psychosis, however, has temporarily lost the judgment needed to make this assessment. Very often, a woman with psychosis experiences a frightening sense of merging. She can't differentiate oh my God, to differentiate between where she ends and where the baby begins. Psychotic murder is so terrifying that she may try to avoid losing her sense of self by either committing suicide or infanticide, also known as suicide by proxy. This was the case with Andrea Yates, whose suicide attempts ended with the deliberate drowning of her children. Perhaps in her mind, to prevent the loss of self, she was compelled to kill her children or herself or both. Infanticide is a very rare phenomenon. I can't read. Only about 4% of women who become psychotic kill their babies. Perhaps even fewer tragedies would occur if proper education and treatment were more readily available. Researchers who study infanticide distinguish several different groups of parents who murder their offspring. Some kill as a result of psychotic delusions, the dread of parent-child merger, or the belief that the child is trying to harm or kill them. Others murder their children out of profound depression and hopelessness. Often they carry strong religious ideas that killing their child will enable them both to enter an afterlife more peaceful than their current life. Susan Smith, the South Carolina mother who attempted to drown herself and her children by driving her automobile into a lake, may be an example of someone in this group, although Smith ended up killing her children but not herself. Typically, parents kill their children out of vengeance and rage against the other parent. They want to hurt the other parent by depriving them of their most cherished relationship. This type of infanticide is committed far more frequently by fathers. As with most mental illnesses, what causes the onset of postpartum mood disorders is still a matter of research and debate. Much of the medical community believes these syndromes may be caused by chemical imbalances in the brain, specifically shifts in hormone levels. According to Postpartum Support International, a network of mental health professionals and others concerned with promoting postpartum mental health and social support, the most well-researched theory to date suggests that a sharp drop in estrogen and progesterone following delivery is the culprit. Okay, this is a lot. This goes on and on and on. But yeah, I don't know. And then it talks about different medications that mess them up more. I don't know. Our country needs to do what other countries do. Hold on, Hilde. I stopped my son's father from having him alone. He put our son in dangerous situations because of his choices. I have not said he cannot see him, but not alone. Someone has to be there with him. Good job. Really good job.
Yes.
I had from CPS in my home almost daily for the first 5 months, analyzing everything with me, the way I spoke to him, held him, changed him, bathed him, everything. And after 5 months, they came once a week until he was 2 years, then every other week until he was 5. It is heartbreaking with kids when the ones that is supposed to protect them from harm and evil is the one that inflicts it to them. But I know from experience that parents can be evil. That is why I have PTSD. Exactly. And you did good on that. She also, in her country, they offer help. And also in the other country that we talked about the other day, I don't remember if you remember, Hilde, they send somebody home with you from the hospital to stay there for like a couple of weeks, or I don't know how long, but just to make sure you're okay with the baby. And like, that's something that we need here.
Yes, we do. I agree.
Yeah.
make sure that, I don't know. These
Every
people
time I
need
every
help,
time
but I don't agree, obviously, with them killing their children. It's just, I don't know how their mind, I don't know what they're thinking at that time. Like the
Right.
article, are they thinking that, I don't know. Ugh.
I understand.
I don't
I
get it.
understand completely where you're coming from. I don't agree with them murdering their own kids, but I
Mm,
don't know what's going on in their mind. But my thing is, if people know that their family members like that and dealing with it, get them some help. Say something.
Yes.
If the husband knows that
Yes.
their wife is dealing with stuff, stay at home with the kids.
mhm.
Get her some help. Why would you leave your? They must have not been thinking when they left their wife alone with the kids. They had to be not thinking.
Nope. It's really sad. It's happening way too. And you know what else is?
But
Oops, Isabel Martinez. Why did I put that there?
Happening too
What's
often.
happening more and more is parents or dads killing their whole family and then
oh my goodness,
side.
I know I've been hearing a lot about that too, and
I
that's
look
just
back. My dog needs to go out. Small bladder and chihuahuas. Oh my gosh, I used to have a chihuahua. I so know what you're talking about.
Small
But
bladder
yeah,
chihuahua.
I've seen that. It's like if you want to kill yourself, don't end your whole family's life.
right.
Why?
You're already giving them a life sentence the moment you take yourself out.
Exactly.
It's a life
Right.
sentence without you.
Mm-hmm. These people definitely, I believe every person that murders a child,
Should get death
in most
penalty.
cases, it should be death penalty. But in the cases where it's
But then-
proven for a fact that there is mentally, like the psychosis,
illness.
I think it should be life. But
Right.
they also need the help. They also need to get the help they need. They should never get a chance to get out again, but I don't know.
I believe the same thing. Like, yeah. So I absolutely agree with you.
I don't. I as much as I try to get it, I don't.
Me
I
either.
don't. I mean, I can say that I was blessed to have the best mom and dad in the world, but even still, I hear these stories time and time again, and it's still it tears me up.
Me too.
Whether the child is being abused or if going as far as being killed, it still tears me up.
Same here.
It kills. It breaks all of our hearts, and I'm not saying
Yes.
it's an excuse. I'm just saying we need something because we have too many people that should have been sterilized at birth. Exactly, and I mean you can tell. Okay, like the parent. Okay, obviously these people are fucked up. If you're killing but they said it's men mostly, and they don't go through this psychosis, this PPD. If a man kills children just to get back at their significant other, like that stupid moron, what was his name? Josh. His wife is still missing. They can't find the body. He killed his boys. What was his name?
I don't remember.
The dad was like a real freak.
Oh,
like
man.
the dad was obsessed with. It started with a P. The last name.
Hang tight, and we'll see if because I know I may have covered it briefly. The name will come to me
I forgot the
in
name.
just moments.
But in those cases, yeah, they're sick as fuck. But they need to be put to death. Like there's no excuse. But it just makes me think in the back of my mind, this woman was perfectly normal.
Mm-hmm.
She's been around thousands of babies. She delivered. She worked in the delivery part. Like she was a normal mom. So obviously something in her brain she wasn't right.
Right.
Oh my God, these people. I don't know. I'm gonna grab some water. Hold on.
You're fine, hon.
Powell.
Powell?
Josh Powell.
Oh, okay. I don't remember him.
Yeah.
So he killed his kids to get back at his wife or girlfriend.
Well, no, he was. Oh, let me find one. Did you cover it?
No, I didn't. Apparently, no. Apparently, I didn't.
Let me see if Thomas did.
Oh wait! Are we talking about the murderer we like to call America's dumbest criminal? There was a guy who killed his wife and left more breadcrumbs than a mouse could eat.
Oh my goodness!
His wife was Susan Powell. Let me see. Arctic, have you ever covered the Susan Powell case? I was gonna play it, but I can't play anyone else's because I will get struck. Okay, let me do this. Hold on. Susan Powell. That case I might do next. Okay.
Oh wow.
All right. Let me see.
As in the disappearance of?
Huh?
Susan Powell, as in the disappearance of?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1981. I was a little kid then.
Yes.
Wow.
That's when she was born.
I was not even born yet.
I was born when she. I was born. Wait. I was about 5 years old. She disappeared in 2009.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't.
Oh my God.
Technology.
Gotta love it.
I was trying to.
So let me guess. He killed his wife and his kids.
Yeah, he said his wife he made his wife go missing, and then he ended up he ended up setting a fire in the house. Like he was supposed to get visitation, but it was supposed to be what's it called?
Supervised visits?
Yeah. And so on the day he was supposed to have one, the caseworker was going over there and she smelled gasoline, and he ended up killing his boys and him, and her body has never been found.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my, hey, you're not gonna believe this. But,
what?
No, I'm looking at Wikipedia's breakdown. February 5th of 2012, he killed Charles and Braden Powell and then killed himself.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because he lost custody.
Yep. And
I killed your whole family if you're going. Oh my goodness.
She even filmed everything that they owned in the house, just in case something happened to her. she knew. Like, she said that if anything happened to her, it was him. And then that was
Wow.
it. Yeah. I want to play something, but I don't want to get a strike, so I'm not even going to do it. She
You
said,
know, he could have just killed himself instead of killing them. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
No, you know what that was a case of if I can't have my kids, you can't either, and you can't stop me.
Crazy. Crazy.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, I'm
Oh my goodness.
I'm dumbfounded after reading that, but yet and still.
Yep. So it's just, you know, I don't know. I will never understand either. There's no excuse, but I definitely
Me either. Me either.
have psychosis.
Not.
I definitely don't believe that they should. I don't believe they should die. You know, if there's something really wrong with them and they've been to a doctor and, you know, I believe that they should be put in jail, obviously, in prison for the rest of their lives. But I don't think that they should get death. Now, anyone else that
Right.
child and, you know, they do. But that's just my opinion.
I agree with you.
Mentally, you don't know.
I believe, like you said, you know, I agree with you on that. But now, if there's no proof that someone has mental illness, they need to automatically be put on death, get the death penalty.
Yes. Now, I just want to play this video real quick. Hold on. I haven't done that one. I am going to do that one. I'm going to do one soon on Josh Powell and Susan. I want to play this because I am so...
I remember this case.
Remember we were talking about this Reloaded?
We all remember this case.
Welcome back to the
Yes.
channel. Today we are going to cover a case that's pretty infamous that just about anyone out there has heard about, and that is the JonBenet Ramsey case. We're not going to go into all the twists and turns of the case because most of that's been covered through the years, and unless you've lived in isolation for the past quarter century, you've heard the majority of the information out there on JonBenet's case. But I did want to come on here because there's been arguments that DNA could very well have exonerated the parents years ago. There's unearthed documents from the JonBenet Ramsey murder case that show DNA evidence recovered from her body did not match any of her family members or others who were a focus of the investigation, according to an exclusive report from Fox News. A new book on late Colorado investigator Lou Smit, who worked the case, points out that despite the lack of evidence, investigators and the media alike created a cloud of suspicion over JonBenet's parents, hinting that they may have been involved in her death. For the past quarter century, the Boulder police have ignored the DNA evidence that exonerated the Ramseys and could be used to identify her killer. John W. Anderson argues this point in the book Lou and JonBenet, a legendary lawman's quest to solve a child beauty queen's murder. The body of JonBenet, a child beauty queen, was found in the basement of her home in Boulder, Colorado in 1996. She had been strangled and had a broken skull, and to this day, the case remains unsolved. Smit came out of retirement in 1997 at the request of the Boulder County District Attorney's Office to help investigate the JonBenet case. He argued that the most likely suspect would be an intruder, but he quit in 1998 over his frustration that the police insisted on keeping the parents under suspicion. He said, "At this point in the investigation, the case tells me that John and Patsy Ramsey did not kill their daughter, that a very dangerous killer is still out there and no one is actively looking for him. He wrote that in his resignation letter. Fox News said after Smith's death in 2010, his family shared thousands of documents with a group that calls itself the JonBenét Ramsey Smith Family Team. They rediscovered the DNA lab results sent from Colorado's Bureau of Investigation to lead detective Thomas Trujillo on the 15th of January, 1997, just weeks after JonBenét's death. Trujillo is still with the department, which in December of 2022 suspended him for 3 days and ordered an involuntary transfer to Night Patrol after an audit found that he was failing to investigate cases. So that's the information that's been newly released to us, guys. So all along, they had the evidence to clear this family, and yet both the media and the cops, they kept this cloud of suspicion over him. And then you had Patsy Ramsey, who was very sick with cancer during all of this. And, you know, I've watched the interviews with Patsy on various different TV shows. And while I do feel she was probably under the influence of something and self-medicating during the interviews, I could also see genuine emotion for the loss of her daughter.
Oh,
and I'm not going to lie, I've had...
My mom actually sat behind her one day when they were having lunch. She said that lady was so rude and fucked up on I don't know what, but she was definitely drunk as well. Or she was like snapping her fingers at the waitress and like just, oh my God. My mom.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh.
I can't stand rude people.
My suspicions shift several times over the years as to who did this. And the majority of that is due to the ransom letter, because there's so many red flags with that letter. The handwriting seems to match Patsy's, and then there's the ransom amount that is very low, considering you're requesting it from this very, very wealthy family, and then it just happens to coincide with the exact amount of John Ramsey's Christmas bonus that year. And then, you know, my suspicion shifted. It was initially the family, and then it was JonBenét's brother Burke. And the reason for that was because of his very strange and unusual behavior during his Dr. Phil interview. But, you know, I've also watched the behavior panel take that interview that Burke did on Dr. Phil, and they said that it's because of just how Burke is. They think he's probably on the spectrum somewhere, and that's the reason why he behaves so strangely in the interview with Dr. Phil. So, I mean, DNA evidence doesn't lie. If all this information is correct and it clears the Ramseys, then, you know, the Boulder Police Department certainly owes them a big apology, as does the media at large, for how they've covered the story over the years. So, I don't know. You can certainly let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't know who's responsible. If there is a killer out there that killed this little girl all those years ago, then they need to, I mean, and they are retesting a lot of DNA right now at the request of John Ramsey and his oldest son, who was JonBenét's stepbrother from another marriage. So there's a lot being retested and things of that nature. So we'll have to see how all that plays out. But certainly feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Again, I don't know who's responsible, but we do need to get to the bottom of it, because, you know, it's been way too long, and that little girl deserves some type of justice. As always, feel free to click that like button. It does help more people find the video, and the more people that see it, you know, the more people that can pass it around. It really helps the channel. Also, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. That way you're always alerted when I post new content. And share the video out. You know, people probably haven't seen this information yet, and I'd like as many new eyes to see it as possible. But, you know, I do want to thank all of you, most importantly, for tuning in and watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Y'all be kind to one another out there. I'll see you real soon in the next video.
I think if it was an unknown person, they would have taken exactly. They wouldn't have left her in the basement, done all this in the basement. No. Hold on, you guys.
I'm only slow clapping to say finally they've unasked that evidence that they've been
Right?
sitting on for 25 years.
Right? And I thought that
25
letter was
years.
dodgy too. Like, I agree with Sixth Sense. That letter was dodgy.
I mean, come on. There was way too much on that for that. Come on.
Right?
The writing's supposed to look like Patsy's. The figure was exactly John's bonus. Come on.
Right?
This is where that at least that portion of the case sounds like as a case of I was born at night but not last night.
Right? Exactly.
So now that that evidence has been unearthed, we're seemingly right back to square one, asking the question, who killed JonBenet Ramsey?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we know it wasn't John, it wasn't Patsy, and it sure as hell wasn't Burke.
They paid somebody off, or
Right.
they took somebody's DNA and put it in there. I don't know. That whole family was so sketch.
Right.
But
By the day this whole it seemed like by the day the whole case is so sketch.
Yep.
Right? Exactly.
It's 25. It's some 25 years later, and the case is still sketch.
I mean,
Yes.
they can find out all these other, the boy in the box and all these other, they can't find out what happened to JonBenet with this DNA. This person has never, either they died, they never got arrested for anything, or I don't understand.
Yeah, me either.
That's the one case I feel like we will never know the answers to.
Right?
And Madeline McCain.
Oh yeah. I don't know, ladies. I don't know.
That whole pageant thing. Yes.
Oh
Sixth
God.
Sense. So crazy. Like,
Right.
I not even let my 10-year-old, 9-year-old, like, nobody's wearing makeup until you guys are 16, and that's like lipstick or you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that. No kid should be wearing makeup and being in, oh my goodness. There's plenty of perverts out there.
Yeah.
Too many.
No nails, no nothing.
Right?
16.
Yep.
Right?
That's the magic number. You want to start wearing makeup? That's the age.
Yes.
Right? Exactly. That's how old I was when I started wearing makeup.
And I never wore makeup. I started makeup at like, I don't know. I never was a makeup person until I got a little older, like 19, 20.
I mean, you know, I don't wear makeup every day. I mean, I wear it sometimes.
Hey, Lucky Me, good to see you.
That's the age I was, 16, when I could start wearing makeup.
You, son, love, you're amazing people, you, and working and listening. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, Fox said, don't get me started on the pageant stuff. Let's dress our 3-year-old up like a $20 hooker prancing across the stage.
Right?
No, Fox,
Right?
how you really feel?
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. Come on.
Yes, Lucky Ree. I'm glad I saw you earlier over in 50 Shades of Faye. You saw that we worked everything out. That's how I met her.
Okay.
Yes. Worked everything out and it feels so much better. But
Looking. Let's see what the Spanish word for filter is.
there's a lot of them. You can call peruja, or you can call one. There's different ones. There's it's a dirty world out there. I know how hard it is each and every day. Oh, it is hard.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Lucky Ring. I really appreciate that.
I was gonna shout out Fox, Arctic Fox again with with a twist on one of my favorite luchadors from Lucha Underground. Pentagon Junior / Pentagon Dark always said he had cero miedo, zero fear. Arctic Fox True Crime has cero filtro, zero filter.
Yeah, he sure does. That's what I love about him.
Same here. That's the reason why I said, wait a minute, no. Say how you really feel.
I have to keep my filter on or I get yelled at.
Well, I love you for who you are. Always be yourself, Lexi. 100. And speak how you feel.
Right.
I appreciate that. No, I but it's for the right reasons because, I mean, you're starting, entertaining people and it's, I feel like a child.
I get it.
Garnett's mom.
Trying to be a good girl and don't want to get in trouble.
Well, it's good, to take advice. I know that they're just trying to help you, but also be yourself too, because we love who you are. I love who you are. I'll speak for my own self. I love who you are.
I appreciate that.
And I don't ever want you to be in something you're not.
Well, if you would have first saw me
that's something else about
when I first started
that's something else about me that I made sure everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
You're not always going to get the guy in the white hat as far as my verbiage goes. Everything that goes down, I'm not gonna be quote unquote internet friendly. If for example, if something goes down where somebody gets shot, I'm gonna say just like it's reported that somebody was shot. I'm not saying that pew. I'm not gonna use the initials SA or anything like that. I'm gonna call it like I'm gonna report it.
I gotcha. You're gonna call it how it is.
That's it.
Exactly. I agree.
In some cases, yes, I'm a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy. But don't me that I'm gonna be overtly nice to kowtow to what the internet wants. That's right. I think they call me the last outlaw.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Outlaw. Because you're gonna say things how you're gonna put it how it is.
Exactly.
And not
I'll bend, but I won't break.
Right.
Yes, 6 cents. Definitely. And one day we will meet.
Yeah.
I don't know how. It's probably going to be me running away to New Zealand. I don't know.
We need to meet one day too.
I know, right?
Yeah, we all do.
We all need I don't know where we would meet at. We're all meeting at Arctic's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be perfect.
Arctic, we're all.
Wait, no, 6 cents, because she cooks some good food.
And I'm going to bring all my cats because Arctic still needs to pick up his 4 cats.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's all drive. Oh my God, my uncle lives in Hawaii. We could so do that.
Oh, that's nice. I would love to go to Hawaii.
He always tells me to
Isn't
come,
that,
and I'm
isn't
like,
that everybody's dream trip?
yes,
Isn't
Right?
that everybody's dream trip?
my cousins
Right?
there, like they all packed up and left Cali and went to Hawaii. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Keyword.
Yeah.
I just noticed that drive. Let's drive.
Besides Hawaii, I would love to go to the Bahamas.
Oh my God! You know the old slogan. It's better in
Right?
the Bahamas.
Oh yeah.
Bahamas scares me after I saw I Still Know What You Did.
Oh my goodness. Come on, girl. Come on. That's not real.
You guys
Come on.
understand that we can't drive to Hawaii.
Well, no, we can fly to Hawaii because you can't drive in Hawaii. I mean, not Hawaii, the Bahamas or Hawaii. But you could take a boat.
Well, here's one line you won't hear me say, and just as an example, just for an example, here's one line you won't hear me say. I ain't getting on no
What?
plane. I ain't
I ain't
getting
getting on no plane.
Oh no, you won't hear me say that.
Arctic.
I'm afraid of heights.
You know, Arctic ignored my cat thing. Like, he thinks I'm playing. I am bringing 4 cats. Arctic is really the king of jokes. He's fucking hilarious.
He is.
I wish you would come on
What I love
panel.
about the
I wish you would come on panel just to throw in a couple of jokes before we get off.
Oh man.
Come on, Arctic.
Oh. Well, and before we even get off, I mentioned my apology letter coming on next Sunday.
Oh, I was about to ask you. Yeah.
And-
So what is it? What?
Yeah. Okay, it has
For
to
him not
do
doing
with
an update.
the first 3 stories that I didn't update. The first 3 stories I ever covered as Matthias Bite Reloaded. The one on Tim and Tracy Ferreter. Forgot I didn't update that. Cynthia and Dennis Perkins, I didn't update that. Dante Jackson's arrest and a few other culprits with him, I didn't update that. I found out all 3 of those on yesterday. No, excuse me, the day before.
Right.
And that's
Well-
why I went right to the community page and I wrote the following. I can pull it up. Yeah. I have 3 apologies coming on the next live edition of Matthias Bite Reloaded. I'll let you all know now that they have to do with 3 of my first stories I covered here. So I'm apologizing in advance of next Sunday when I offer my formal apologies. I know I didn't follow through, but you have my word that I will do better next time. Sincerely yours, The Last Outlaw.
Yes, but that it's not your. What were they again?
Well, I'm gonna say something.
Hold on.
you're-
Hold on. What was the videos?
Start with Tim and Tracy Ferreter. FERRITER. There they are. There's those 2 monsters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was back before I was reading the video that I've done. First off, huge shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I appreciate each and every last one of you. And as always, I'd say the same thing throughout the video. I want to hear from you regardless of what we're covering. First of all, I want to send a huge shout out to Cat 8 Canary, because this person is the reason for this follow-up video. More on this person, more on what she's on the commentary she sent me on YouTube in just a moment. But as always, I got to do a little house cleaning first. Let's go ahead and jump ahead from the house cleaning piece. Again, I've always sent a shout out to all my subscribers, all 76 of you. Thank you so much. I love you from the bottom of my If you haven't, and this is your first, you'll get about to read right now. This is courtesy of on the video I made regarding Tim and Tracy Ferreter, the couple that was charged with locking their 14-year-old child up in what I call an 8x.
Oh, that's where I heard them from. Yes.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
8 prison with only with a bucket for his toiletries. Just thinking about that and recalling that back makes me sick to my stomach. But I digress. It's going to get a little bit worse for me. The family has 2 adopted African American children. The 14-year-old boy is black. Ooh. J is for Justice did a live stream, and she has the actual police report. It will make you cry. It almost made me cry when I did the last video, ladies and gentlemen. The report says that Tim beat the boy with a belt and a jump rope. He made him lean over the bed, naked, and he beat this child. Again, like I asked in the last video, I asked again in this one, what monster does that? The lawyer says that the boy injured others and animals and stole from kids at school. If that is her only defense of these monsters, see, she's using my language, monsters, they will get no sympathy from anyone, is my thought. Cat A Canary, you're right about that, because these monsters surely don't get any sympathy from me. This child needed mental health counseling, right again. These folks are wealthy. It appears from their homes that they've lived in that they are in the $1 million price range. Well, why am I not shocked at that? They should have had him in therapy, not locked in the room the size of a prison cell where he could not even have light because the light switch was on the outside of the room. Both parents are out on bond. They have 3 homes. They lived in Florida, moved out to Arizona, and then back to Florida. All had makeshift prison cells for this child. This child deserves justice. I hope that they are not able to buy their way out of this, and I hope they never get access to any of their children ever again. Again, Cat A Canary, you have no idea how much I agree with you on this. She also wants me to, quote, have some tissues on hand for when you see the actual Ferreter police report. I would love to see this. Send me a link to this police report. So I can have the tissues on hand, because I got a feeling the last outlaw will be boo-hooing by the time I'm finished reading it. I literally had to take a break during the video. It was so heartbreaking. I started thinking about what this child went through when COVID had schools closed. I can only imagine. Was he fed? Was he in that prison cell every day? What the beep is wrong with people? Cat A Canary, I'm like this one wrestler who once said, sometimes I don't understand this world. And I don't. I keep seeing this child in the backyard dumping out a bucket of human waste and cleaning the bucket before he can go to school. If he can go to school. Being fed a peanut butter sandwich with a banana for breakfast and waiting for the family to eat and hoping for some good leftovers. Having no friends and no one to talk to. His sister's saying that she misses getting to play with him because he is always locked up. I'm disgusted and angry. Again, Cat A Canary, thank you so much for the comments. And like you, yes, I too am disgusted and angry. Because no child None deserve to be treated this way. No child deserves that. I mean, the word I have for this is inhumane. Inhumane. I mean, you barely let the child out to go to school. When he comes back, you put him in a prison. You put him in a prison cell. A cell of your own devise. 8 feet by 8 feet. And what's worse, then on top of that, you leave him. You don't let him out to use the bathroom. You leave a bucket for him. Again, I ask because I know no full-on parent will do that. So, what monster is capable of doing this? The answer's right there. Tim and Tracy Faraday. I think it goes like this. One actually executes it. The other lets it happen. And when police are called, one tries to cover it up, and the others floating on that river in Egypt. If you know, you know. Meanwhile, it's the child that continues to suffer.
Bathroom break.
And I say continues to suffer because he gets put in that thing on the daily until law enforcement finally figures it out. You know what? Disgusted and angry, it barely scratches the surface as to how I'm feeling right now. And I have not yet seen the report. I have not seen the video for J is for Justice, but I would love to see that myself. And again, all I got was the original report. But again, I want to thank Cat 8 Canary for not only for the subscription, but for the information she commented on this story. And again, I ask if you can send me a link to the police report or the video from J is for Justice. I would love to check that out and follow up on top of that. As she mentioned, the Ferreters are out on bond. Lucky them. Those monsters, I believe deep down, they go to trial. And when, not if, but when they're found guilty, yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite phrase. They need to be thrown under the prison. No. Actually, why don't we let the punishment fit the crime? Let's put those two monsters in an 8x8 with nothing but a bucket for them. Seems fair. They did it to the 14-year-old they adopted, right? If it's good for him, why not do the same thing for those two? But I'm just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my follow-up. Thank you again.
Okay, so what's the update? Because I've been waiting for an update since I first heard about that.
Well, I don't know whether the trial has started already or not, but they have dropped their defense attorney in favor of another one. The attorney cited, now watch this. You're going to hear a phrase you normally would hear in a divorce case. But the attorney cited irreconcilable differences between her and her client's Irreconcilable difference. Now, if you're dropping your attorney right now, you got a problem.
Right.
And your defense has more holes than Swiss cheese. Like I said in the video when I did that first follow up, which is what you just posted there, what you just showed there. I'm sticking to my prediction. And as far as I'm concerned, call me Paul Heyman, because I'm saying that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. They're going to trial.
Right.
They're going to be found guilty. And personally,
Right.
I want to see Tim and Tracy Ferriter thrown under the prison.
Right.
I still would rather see them get the same treatment the 14-year-old got it.
Or at least be put on death row.
Oh, if Florida has a death penalty statute, then I'm gonna leave that to the Ferriters and the Almighty, because I have no power after that.
Right.
I don't understand why they haven't. How long ago was that again?
I think that was my very first edition before I even gave the tag Reloaded.
Mm.
How far back did I go with this?
That was 11 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's right around almost April.
I remember
so much for joining.
I remember that case, and
the very next one I did has the Perkins case on it too. So you probably have to go about halfway through, maybe a little bit further, just to get to the Perkins case.
Perkins case. What was that one around?
Oh. I hope everybody on the panel has a good stomach for this. I hope everybody in the chat has a good stomach for this.
I'm good.
All right, here we go. Both Cynthia and Dennis Perkins.
Well, I'm trying to find
Cynthia
it.
is a look. All right, the next one is say a follow up on the Ferriters and a disgusting.
Oh, right here.
In caps.
The Perkins case and how to give info on Dante Jackson.
No. That's after that. The first one was when I first reported it. It's nasty.
Oh, are you talking about the teacher? Oh my God, yeah, I've heard of this.
The teacher and the ex sheriff's lieutenant. Ugh.
Hold on.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about that case.
That was so disgusting.
If you have a sidekick and
oh wait, that's somebody else's. Hold on.
No, not that one.
Because I clicked on this.
Go to my channel and you'll find it. Keep going. Okay, right next to the shot with both Ferriters, I have that. I use the same shot in the one in the bottom right corner. That's it.
Right here.
The one with the old logo in the middle. Up.
This one.
Up one.
Right here.
Up one. Right here. No, that's the Ferriters. The next one.
This one
on your left. Yes. Like I said, you'll probably have to go halfway through. Look in my eyes. Even got in on this. It is absolutely disturbing. I mean, how I mean, I've asked this in previous videos, but it bears repeating. Who does this? Really? I mean,
do I need to rewind it?
No. Go ahead. Keep going. Go a little further. I'm looking at this. I read it all. But as I read onward, it is showing that. I mean, listen to this redacted paragraph. On Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022, Detective Jordan and I traveled to the previous federal residence located in meep. Of course, you're going to get that meep because it's redacted. In an attempt to make contact with the current owner. While there, we made contact with Sherry Lynch, a white female, who advised the following. Although she knew the Ferreters, she had never been inside of their residence, but stated the current owners had noted a quote-unquote creepy room in the garage. A creepy room in the garage. When asked to expound further, Lynch stated the room was only able to be locked from the outside, and she only saw the walls, but stated the current owners had it removed. Lynch provided me with the current owner's name and phone number. After speaking with Lynch, I called the current owner, later identified as Anthony Tenona. I conducted a sworn recorded interview with Tenona, who confirmed there was a room in the garage he had removed because the room could only be locked from the outside, and he believed the room was made to keep someone inside of it. Tenona advised the realtor for the Ferreters to describe the room as a quote-unquote bonus room. Bonus room. However, when it was shown the room, it had a small child-sized bed with comforter. Tenona provided me with inspection documents for the residence, which showed photographs of the room. Although the Ferreters purchased a residence in 2014, it is known when the room in the garage was built for how long was locked inside. That last short beep, that's our victim, the 14-year-old. Goes without saying. And now here's where the thing that got me disgusted. On February 4th, 2022, again, this is from the affidavit. On February 4th, 2022, Beep was released from care at JFK North Medical Center and transported to the Child Protection Team for a forensic interview. Case coordinator Shelby Halas of the Child Protection Team conducted the interview. During the interview, Beep confirmed that he was made to stay locked in his bedroom in the garage, and further confirmed that it was an 8 foot by 8 foot space with a door that has a deadbolt and a doorknob lock that are both locked from the outside. Beep stated the longest he can recall being locked inside of the room was 18 hours. Let me stop right there let me say this. Anybody, I don't care, man, woman, or child, locked in a room for 18 hours, that's straight up imprisonment. Oh, can I make it worse? Let me make it worse. Beep advised that he does not have a bathroom in his room. But stated he uses an orange Home Depot brand bucket to urinate and defecate in. At least prisoners that are actually locked up for crimes have better living conditions than that. One. And two, let me get closer. Let me get closer. One, Oh, that's about as close as I can get. And two, let me get my big mic so you can all actually hear this. Those people deserve it. That kind of living situation is for those who committed crimes. What possibly could this young boy have done to deserve such treatment? Just getting that thought out there. Okay, back to business. Beep was asked about discipline during the interview, and he advised he has received spankings before, both with a leather belt and a jump rope. Beep stated the spankings would take place in his bedroom, and he would be naked, bent over his bed. Beep stated he could recall one spanking was so painful he fell off his bed in pain. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, where I come from, there's spankings, there's whoopings, and then there's straight up abuse. What we have here crossed all those elements. Tim Ferriter went from discipline to torture, just like that. Based on the above described investigation, there is probable cause to believe the defendant, Timothy D. Ferriter, willfully tortured, maliciously punished, or willfully and unlawfully caged a child contrary to FSS 827.031A and 2A. And based on the above described investigation, there is probable cause to believe the defendant, Timothy Ferriter, did forcibly, by threat or secretly confine, abduct, imprison, or restrain against that person's will and without lawful authority. So I bet you're wondering, I mentioned Tim. What about Tracy? Let me sum up Tracy in one short little statement. She allowed it to happen. She let it happen. There's no other explanation for it. I mentioned this in a previous video. One executes, the other steps by and lets it go. So when they go, now then they get the confrontation with the cops. One hides all the evidence. The other does it like a little shield. Both of them are equally responsible. Both of them are equal monsters. Both of them deserve every single bit of justice that the law can allow them, which is what I pray for. They deserve the book thrown at them. They deserve to be thrown under the jail the moment a guilty verdict is passed. Like I said just a little bit ago, no parent in their right minds would treat a child like this. And I made mention about this disorder that the child was going through, reactive associative disorder or something like that. The kid's adopted. Yeah. The kid has nobody nobody to love them. Well, maybe the exception of his siblings, but that's not taking the place of a parent, though. It's not taking the place of a parent. Instead of trying to form a bond with the child, to show that child some love, what does he get? He gets abused, he gets tortured, he gets imprisoned, and for what? Because they can't form a bond with the child? Give me a break. It's a new environment for the child. And you dare treat that child like he's less than nothing. This is the reason I called you monsters out. I'm calling all the monsters all over the United States and the world. I'm calling you out because of stuff like this. If you're gonna treat a child you intend on adopting, if you're gonna treat a child like garbage, don't bother. Don't even bother taking up the mantle as foster parent. Don't do it. A child needs love. A child needs protection. A child needs guidance. Only a parent can give those three things. Anything less than that, you're a monster. I will say it until the day I stop breathing. If you're not giving your child any kind of love, if you're not protecting that child, and you're not giving that child any kind of guidance and direction for their lives heading forward, then you are a monster. Period. Now, from one set of monsters to another. This is a totally different story. Yet, it still sickens me.
Hope you have strong stomachs
when I read it. This was posted to Yahoo on 5 days ago, and let me tell you, when I say it sickens me, I don't say it just to say it. I mean, it sickens me. It's sick. Let me go ahead and forewarn you all. If you're eating, turn this off now. If you have a weak stomach, turn this off now. Because what I'm about to read next is sickening, and the monsters who did it, well, let's just say the book getting thrown at them, they deserve it. Let's get it. A former Louisiana middle school teacher has been sentenced to 40 years behind bars after admitting, oh boy, I wish I had my bottle of water with me when I read this. A former Louisiana middle school teacher has been sentenced to 40 years behind bars after admitting she fed students cupcakes laced with the sperm of her ex-husband, an ex-sheriff's lieutenant. Ugh.
Somebody
You
please
were
tell me
warned.
who in their right mind does that. Cynthia Perkins was sentenced on last Friday, to 40 years of hard labor without the possibility of probation or parole. She accepted a plea bargain on Monday to charges that include second-degree rape, producing child pornography, and conspiracy mingling of harmful substances, according to the Louisiana Attorney General. The deal requires her cooperation against ex-husband Dennis Perkins, a former SWAT team commander for the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office, scheduled to stand trial later this year. Cynthia Perkins admitted assisting her husband in sexually assaulting a juvenile, helping her husband film a juvenile bathing, and lacing cupcakes with her then husband's sperm before feeding them to school children. The couple were arrested in October 2019 and indicted on 150 charges. That's according to LivingstonParishNews.com. I'm gonna stop right there. I can't read no more of that. All I know is that I agree with the Attorney General, who says that Cynthia Perkins' plea deal spared the victims from reliving her horrific crimes during this particular trial, meaning that they didn't have to testify against her. Thank God. Prosecutors look forward to holding Dennis Perkins accountable for his crimes in the very near future. Guess what? I'm dealing with true crimes myself. I'm looking forward to Dennis Perkins being held accountable, because he needs to be. Who does something like that?
Disgusting people.
I swear before all that is holy, if my mother was alive today, she would call both of them, Cynthia and Dennis Perkins, a couple of nasty buzzards. Me, I can only go as far as calling them what they are: monsters. Monsters. One a former school teacher, the other a former sheriff's lieutenant. You gotta be kidding me. One's duty is to educate children, the other to protect and serve the people, and neither one of them are doing their jobs because of doing monster things like this. Cynthia Perkins, you already got your punishment. 40 years hard labor. You'll be 76 if you're lucky when you get out. Dennis Perkins, you're next. I'm waiting for the trial. I'm waiting to see what goes down later this year, because you deserve nothing. No, actually, you deserve hard labor too. Yeah, you deserve hard labor too. Or better yet. No. That's disgusting even for him. I would say let the punishment fit the crime, but that's disgusting even for him. Yeah, you and your ex-wife will be in the right place. Both of y'all sitting behind bars doing hard labor. You deserve it. Trust me. Trust me, you deserve it. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens with this case. Wow. Of all things to cover, I covered that. Anyway, that's all I got from the Thea's Bite this time around. I want to thank you all for joining me.
That is freaking disgusting.
Yeah, it is. I remember someone covering that story. One of the YouTubers, I think it was Chris, that covered that story. That was disgusting. And then the other case, having that boy in that 8-foot room. I mean, that is just awful. Oh my, they are monsters.
You're right. You're right.
If you can't love a child, and you're going to abuse a child, please don't get a child. Don't adopt. Don't have kids. Seriously, no one deserves that.
I'll go as far as quoting a poet laureate by the name of Michael Joseph Jackson when he said, "If you can't feed the baby, then don't have a baby, and don't think maybe if you can't feed the baby."
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
Right. Oh, by the way, the Perkins update, which I plan on apologizing for next week. He, on the 3rd of January, pled guilty. He was sentenced to a whopping 100 years behind bars.
That's where they need to be.
That's what I said in the video. Cynthia Perkins got 40 years hard labor off of a plea deal. One of their accomplices is doing life, and Dennis himself is doing 100. If he's lucky.
Right.
You guys, I am exhausted. I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I got you. Get you some rest, sweetheart.
You need some rest, hon.
I do.
Yeah.
That was so disgusting. Oh.
And Reloaded, I was just going to say to you, you know, how you're going to apologize to us for not keeping us updated. You know, a lot of times people do make mistakes, and I know you weren't saying you had to be perfect. I know you ain't trying to be perfect. I'm just saying sometimes we do forget to update things. It happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm a man of my word, so it's
Right.
it's an update, but I'm bringing these updates in the form of an apology letter because I said I was going to update these 3 from the beginning.
Right.
From the moment I reported on this and how monstrous and disgusting they were. I may have looked for it a few times and haven't seen anything. And I said, "Oh, maybe I won't get anything for quite a while." And then next thing I know, Thursday, Wednesday night. I went to sleep. I went back, looked at my past video, and I said, "You know what? I need to check for updates."
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, the Ferreters dropping their defense attorney. Perkins, 100 years behind bars on a guilty plea. Dante Jackson and accomplices arrested. Finally.
I'm happy. I got sentenced.
Oh man. And on the Perkins case, Fox said, and I gotta chuckle a little bit because it's Fox. He says, "I'm fairly certain when the kids requested Krispy Kreme, those cupcakes aren't what they had in mind." Yep.
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh, Lucky Reed. Yes, I always say I want to make like this big old breakfast. And then I wake up and sometimes I'm just like, okay, here's cereal.
Because you're so tired. I get it.
Yes. But I really appreciate you guys being on panel.
Yes, it's always a pleasure.
Watching. You guys are amazing.
No doubt.
And I want to say something real quick. If you see something, say something.
Please.
And
Yes.
please give this video a thumbs up and please share it.
Yes.
Yes.
Please go subscribe to Arctic Fox True Crime, to Bethea Bites Reloaded, Checking Convictions. Thank you, Lucky Ree. Sweet dreams. And I am so sorry. If you ever want to talk, please email me. 6 cents. I love you. I'm so glad you made it.
Hey, 6 cents. I hope everything's going good, and I hope you get your house fixed with the flood.
Yes. Good night, everybody. We will
Yes.
see
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Thank you guys for coming on the channel.
And I always look forward to joining you anytime, hun.
Yes.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank
Alrighty.
you. Bye,
Good night,
guys.
one. Good night, all.
Hi, Garnett. Garnett's not on here. She left us. But yeah, thank you guys. I will see you. We have a couple videos coming up. We have part 2 of a case we just went over, but you guys will see them. Please hit the notification button, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please share to our channel to Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And yeah, if you see something, say something, please. Thank you guys so much. We love y'all. Good night.